75 years since its founding, the People's Republic of China has transformed itself from backwater to an economic powerhouse. The country now embarks on a new journey as it navigates a complex global landscape, shifts to high-quality development, and advances modernization through deeper reforms and a revolutionary innovation. Join CGTN as we chronicle China's milestones from more than 7.5 decades of growth and transformation. Our special report, New China, 75 years on, only on CGTN.
Celebrating 75 years of the People's Republic of China, CGTN brings you the story of a nation's remarkable transformation.
From automated factories to cutting-edge labs, China is reshaping the global manufacturing.
With a commitment to openness, China welcomes international investment,
driving collaboration on a global scale.
From green hills to clear waters,
China safeguards nature for generations to come.
Across rural heartland, agricultural modernization is fueling progress and prosperity.
Throughout, China's rich cultural heritage continues to thrive.
A timeless legacy interwoven with the nation's story of modernization.
Experience 75 years of innovation, unity, and vision.
Only with CGTN.
On October the 1st, the People's Republic of China will celebrate the 75th anniversary of its founding. To mark the occasion, CGTN presents a special coverage, Way to Modernization. Our anchors and reporters are traveling 5 routes across the country, covering 16 provinces and municipalities in 20 days. Way to Modernization discusses the significant developments that have transformed China's economy, culture, environment and agriculture over the last 7.5 decades. Today, we continue to focus on China's ecological civilization development and how it has fueled rural revitalization. My colleagues Yu Yang and Lincoln Humphreys are live for us in Lvshunkou District in northeast China's Dalian city.
Hello there, Panda. Well, right now we're in Lvshunkou District of Dalian City in northeast China's Liaoning Province. And today we are going to explore how the green and the circular agriculture to benefit local people's lives. So first, let me introduce my colleague Tsuyi, who is Mr. Lincoln Humphreys. He's actually the anchor of CGTN's global business.
Wonderful to be here, continuing our journey of Dongbei with you, Yo Yang. And of course, looking at agriculture and farming, it's a business, it's a growing business, and so is Chinese traditional medicine, big business. So very fascinating stuff we've got for you today.
Well, indeed, besides business, well, Lincoln, I got the first question for you. So ignore the real location where we are and take a look at the environment. Where do you think we exactly are?
Well, you could be forgiven for thinking we are in a deep, dark, lush, moist southern Chinese rainforest, but that's not the case.
Indeed, it's rare to see such humid and lush areas here in northern China. That's because this greenhouse to plant a traditional Chinese medicine is called Dendrobium officinale. So now let me introduce my guest here. It's Mr. Wang Haijun. He's the person in charge of this micro-planting town of Dendrobium officinale. So Mr. Wang, thank you so much for joining us. So as we know, the Dendrobium officinale mainly distributed in East China's Zhejiang and Anhui provinces, also in southwest China's Yunnan province. So what difficulties have you encountered? We'll try to move the Dendrobium officinale from the south to north. 所以感谢您加入我们的节目哈，能不能给我们讲一讲您这个实现铁皮石斛的南药北种到底都遇到了哪些困难呢？
是的，南药北种呢，我们
If
是
we
东
want
北
to
地
grow
区是
these
首家。
crops in the
提炼
northern
成功
part
的
of
是长
China,
江一
we
里
are
送
the
的，我们
first,
用了
but
4
it's
年的
very
时
difficult to
间
do. It takes us
完
for
成了
4
它的
years
科研技术，
to
所有
do a
的
lot
问
of
题，包括我们
research and
从种
conquer
子培
all
育
of
到
the
产业化种植
difficulties.
到产品
For
初级加
example,
工到
we
深加工，
also have the
我们完成
processing
了这
of
样
the
4位一体的产
crops
业
and
模式，而
food. We
且
have different
我们的品质
dimensions
是
for the analysis of the crop.
Definitely. Well, after 4 years of research and development, actually the Dendrobium officinale finally rooted here in North China, marking a breakthrough. So earlier I traveled to this micro town of planting the Dendrobium officinale and take a look at the details behind their efforts. Guess what is it? Dendrobium officinale is a subtropical plant mainly distributed in East China's Anhui and Zhejiang provinces. After years of development and research, it finally reached Lvshunkou, a city in northeast China, marking an entry in north, which is the breakthrough.
我们用了科研用了4年的时间。
We spent 4 years in research and development. First, we imported sprouts from the southern region. However, this kind of sprout cannot live in the northeast. We believe that was because the sprout cannot adapt to the local climate. Then we started to cultivate our own seedlings in the northeast. Finally, these sprouts survived and grew in this region.
Dendrobium officinale is a valuable plant for traditional Chinese medicine. Some research shows that it contains various bioactive components, such as polysaccharides and flavonoids, giving the plant some medicinal functions, such as cardioprotective, anti-tumor, and more. Also, the plant has a lot of commercial value.
铁皮石斛呢？
I must say Dendrobium officinale is a high-value plant. We have planted about 100 more Dendrobium officinale here with the annual output of about 10,000 kilograms. The annual sales revenue could hit about 20 million yuan or $2.8 million US.
Moreover, the planting substrate of Dendrobium officinale is replaced every 3 years, and the decomposed wood chips can be used to plant cherry or weeds. With no pesticides or fertilizers applied during the planting processes, local ecological environment has been greatly protected.
旅顺口区农业发展以循环种植为重要抓手。
Lvshunkou places great importance on circular agriculture. That builds a foundation for green and low-carbon development of the local agricultural sector. This mode makes our green products more competitive in the market. For our next step, we will bring this kind of modern planting technology to more peasant households while making this industry bigger and stronger.
Lvshunkou has started to implement circular agriculture since 2022. During this period, ecological agricultural technology, modern advanced equipment, and low-carbon planting modes have been introduced into the farming sector. Through research and development, subtropical plants can also reach the cold northeastern areas. And these efforts are bringing new industries in China's rural areas, while helping the people build a better life. Well, it's indeed a hard work, Link. Well, after watching the process of moving the Dendrobium officinale from south to north, what left you the deepest impression?
It's very impressive how much painstaking work, years of painstaking work has gone in, and to get the results that they have is very commendable. I think anyone who's tried to grow orchids of any kind knows how difficult it can be and how painstaking the efforts can be. To see it done on such a massive scale is very, very impressive. And this is just one grow room that they've got here at the facility. There are several, and it's really, really impressive to see how much care they've taken through the research they've done. I mean, the height of the ceilings, the size of the windows, the humidity and how often that they irrigate, it all comes down to a very fine art, and it's good to see it working.
Yeah. Besides the details in this greenhouse, actually in the story, we also see here in this area also implement a kind of circular agriculture, and they use the substrates actually to planting more cherries and wheat to save the energy. So that is why comes my second question to Mr. Wang. So tell us more details about that. 所以王老师，我们知道在您这儿，您还在应用一种循环经济哈，就我们知道种这个相当于铁皮石斛的机制，您还用它再去种这个樱桃和麦子等等。 的。那这个是怎么样来操作的呢？
是的，铁皮石斛呢，
Yes, indeed. For the Dendrobi officinal, they have to depend on certain substrate. So this substrate will be deteriorated in 3 to 5 years. But still, we are seeing that for some of the elements, they are very conducive for the wheat and also the cherries. And by using all of these substrates, and actually this will also help us to improve the production of the wheat and cherry. This also form the circular agriculture.
How do you take a look at the circular agriculture here?
It's so important. I mean, not just important, it's necessary. I mean, as we've got growing populations right around the world, we've got growing demand of so many different products, including this. So it's going to be necessary to extract value, but to also keep it going forward for everyone who needs it.
Come to Green More, we're talking about organic farming. Actually, my colleague Xu Yi is currently standing at one of the major egg producers, also here in Lvshunkou District, and she's going to explore how the innovations bring the protection of the environment here. Xu Yi.
Yes, Youyang. So here you can see behind me is the production line of eggs, and I'm going to explore a journey of them here at the Hongjia Animal Husbandry Coordinated Limited, which has been identified as a garden-like factory by local government with its own innovative ways for the chicken breeding and also the waste management system. And for more stories and details, I want to invite our guest here, Mr. Lvshunkou. He is the general director of the company. Thank you, and welcome to our show, Mr. Wang. And so first of all, I want to know that how can they achieve the green production and also the sustainable development? Because when I walk all the way through in our farming park and also the hen houses, we can see the clean and tidy environment here, the vibrant greenery. Also, we couldn't smell like anything bad at all. So how can they do that? 您可以跟我们讲一下，咱们工厂在这个蛋鸡的饲养，包括整个分污处理方面有哪些绿色可持续的方法吗？
我们
So for our company,
保证这个
in order to ensure that the eggs can reach the standard of the green food, so for our company, the chicken was fed by the pure grain. And also for the founder to feed the chicken, all green and organic. And also for the environment of the hen house, we have a very strict standard to make sure that it is bacterial free. So this can also ensure all of the chickens are healthy. As for the dung disposal part, we have set up separate discharge channels for wastewater and the rain. So for the polluted water, after they have been discharged, it will be placed into the purified pond with 3 months of the dilution and the purification. The purified water will be used to irrigate our own farmland and also the fruit-bearing forest. For the purified water, will not cause any pollution to the land and the surrounding environment.
Very impressive, very smart way to reuse our source for the waste management system. So, like the high standards of cleanliness and also the smart, innovative ways for the sustainable development make a solid foundation for the upgraded modernization and production here. And like in this workshop, you can see a very digitalized and intelligent production like here. For the egg selecting and packaging, we can see many like automatic equipment here working on the freshly laid eggs. 所以王总，我们在这个智能的鸡蛋的分拣车间和这个包装车间，我们能看到很多的智能生产设备。您可以给我们讲一下咱们车间的这个自动化吗？
我们现在这个智能
In our plant, we have this automated selecting system. This will help us to sort the eggs. First, we will wash the eggs and also we will use UVs to disinfect all the eggs. And then also we will put the eggs in different designated channels according to their weight. And this will achieve the precise selecting and sorting. This will also improve our working efficiency and reduce the human cost.
So good stuff. And egg production is very important because China is the largest supplier for egg in the globally, with its largest output. Like in the past year, China achieved like over 30 million tons of eggs. So for more like the modernization for the agriculture here in the country, let's go back to our colleagues Youyang and Lincoln to see what else you guys want to share with us more.
Well, thank you, Shi. That's very impressive. Link, how do you think about circular agriculture there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely necessary. And impressive what they've managed to achieve there as well. I mean, it's not just producing things for humans to consume, it's also producing things for our livestock, like the chickens to consume, of course, then for human consumption. To keep that circular economy going, it's not just valuable, it's efficient.
Definitely.
And it works.
Well, taking a look at the dishes around us, it actually looks like the products made from the chicken farm, actually from Shi. And especially if we take a look at the egg custard. And Mr. Wang, would you mind introduce us? They're the dishes made together with Dendrobian official now, right? 所以王先生能给我们介绍一下，就是那现在这些菜肴是我们跟铁皮食物一起制作的，对吗？
是的，我们注册了258道菜。
We actually register over 250 types of dishes. So this is the egg that's also made with the dendrobium. Also, it have very high nutrition.
Thank you so much. Let's have trying.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been trying some of the. Look at that. I mean, not just good materials and good produce. I mean, whoever made this is a master chef. That jiggle is sublime.
And actually on top of it is flowers of Dendrobium official now.
I've had some raw. I've been eating the raw ones there and the leaves as well. So, I mean, hopefully it's delicious as well as nutritious.
You try the raw ones?
怎么样？口感好吗？
So how do you think of it?
Good quality eggs. And I mean, I haven't tried a lot of Dendrobium officinale before to compare it to these ones, but yeah, I'm sure it's doing good things for my body.
Well, definitely. So actually, Link, well, the food here reminds me of our experiences in northeast China's Jilin province. Remember the pancake we had there?
Oh, I've been lucky enough to snack my way right across the northeast in this trip, and that was very high quality produce as well. Yeah, it's been really nice to taste the flavours and see the fruits of the labour here.
Indeed. From Jilin to Liaoning, northeast China serves one of the important granaries of China. So it's autumn now, and the region is welcoming another harvest. Take a look. Xiao Liangliang is the person in charge at a specialized farmers cooperative in Lvshunkou County in northeast China's Jilin province. This year, about 1,500 maize fields under his management about to welcome another harvest.
This year's output is very good. There has been abundant rainfall this year, and our maize output is expected to hit 850 kg per mu of land. We also plant broccoli. All these crops would bring us about 7.4 million yuan in revenue.
Northeast China is one of the world's largest black soil region. It is also the major area for maize and soybeans farming, where black soil produces really high yields. However, after long-term cultivation and overuse of fertilizers have degenerated the soil, threatening local environments and grain production. After years of efforts, Lvshunkou County has developed a special technique known as Lvshunkou model to protect the black soil, which is using maize straw as mulch, and this will help the soil resist wind and water erosion.
The Lvshunkou model helps us a lot. It makes our black soil more fertile and helps to stabilize our output. For instance, after using maize straw, I don't need to buy any chemical fertilizer. Earlier, I needed to purchase about 200 kg chemical fertilizer every year, and now I save a lot of money.
Currently, all farmland in Lvshunkou, covering an area of more than 3.3 million mu, uses maize straw to save the black soil. The county also cooperates with China Agricultural University to carry out small experiments ensuring better grain outputs, such as tests on plants' response to extreme weather conditions and more.
Lvshunkou County is the nation's renowned commodity grain base. The average annual grain production here remains stable at 2 billion kilograms. This year, the output is expected to hit over 2.25 billion kilograms, a year-on-year increase of over 5%. We expect to be one of the top 5 grain-producing counties in the country.
China had a grain harvest of more than 650 million tons for the 9th consecutive year in 2023, with a per capita share of grain at nearly 500 kilograms, well above the internationally recognized security line. This year, China initiated a new round of action to increase its grain output, including safeguarding the red lines to save farmlands, expanding technologies in farm production, as well as saving the ecosystems in rural areas. The country aims to boost the grain production capacity by more than 50 million tons by 2030. So as is highlighted in the story, the northeastern area of China serves an important role in promoting agricultural development of the country. So why do you think food security is so important?
People got to eat. We're getting more and more people in the world. And it's not just about feeding people with sufficient quantity, it's about getting the quality up as well. And of course, we know around the northeast with such high quality soil that we covered before, and here as well with such high quality produce, it's really important to meet those demands. And if you can exceed them, well, there's money to be made.
Definitely. And China has vast lands, of course, has different culture and environmental conditions. To develop grain agriculture, actually, each place has their own tailored plans. That is why my colleague Michael Wang traveled to the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, and he's going to talk with local authorities on their new method coping with anti-desertification.
I am surrounded by what you can call the world's most energetic horse. This solar steed galloping in the Kubuchi Desert here in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region is constructed with nearly 200,000 solar panels and is 196 soccer fields large. This solar steed, impressive as it is only part of an even larger solar farm that's able to provide clean electricity to over 300,000 people annually. So this is one of the biggest solar farms that I've ever seen, a sea of solar panels as far as the eye can see. So, Mr. Li, what's the future outlook, the future planning looking like for this solar project?
目前呢，我们全期已经建成的这个新能源项目呢。
Currently, the new energy projects in that banner have reached over 3 gigawatts. By the end of 2025, we plan to add another 16 gigawatts of new energy capacity. This green electricity will be continuously transmitted hundreds of kilometers away to cities via 800 kilovolts and 1,000 kilowatts ultra-high voltage power lines.
The solar farm is but one of 5 that stretches across the western part of Inner Mongolia. It forms part of what's called the solar panel Great Wall. Around 7 to 8 kilometers from where we are right now flows China's second longest river, the Yellow River. Now, besides providing clean energy, this vast array of solar panels serve as a first line of defense against the desert sand from blowing into the Yellow River, thereby better protecting water quality and the communities that rely on it. Here in Erdos, one challenge for the land is something called the coal mining subsistence issue, which is land that is sunk in a little bit because coal has been extracted from underneath. However, the installation of solar panels has breathed new life into a rather inhospitable terrain. That's because the shade provided by the solar panels creates this microclimate underneath, better locking in the soil moisture from evaporation by sunlight. So, Mr. Ao, this is not just about sending electricity over 1,000 kilometers away. You're also supporting the local community as well with what's called the agrivoltaics industry. So it's about combining solar power with agricultural activities. As you can see behind me, we have a flock of sheep here as well, which can graze on the grass provided by the shade from the solar panels. Talk to us more about how you're developing the agrivoltaics industry here.
我们施工过程中呢，尽量保持原始地貌不被破坏。
During our construction process, we strive to preserve the original landscape as much as possible. Depending on the soil conditions, we introduce more resilient grasses and medicinal plants for cultivation. Under the solar panels, we integrate grazing and agriculture to boost the economic benefits.
This 1 gigawatt solar power project is now connected to the ultra-high voltage grid, meaning electricity can be transmitted across a very long distance. Here, traditional and new energy sources work hand in hand. During the daytime, solar panels generate power, whereas during the nighttime, the traditional thermal power plant takes over, ensuring a smooth flow of electricity throughout the day. China's solar panel Great Wall, rising in the desert of its northwest, stands as a powerful symbol of the country's investment in and commitment to renewable energy.
Well, that's very impressive. As we mentioned earlier, each region has their own plan to develop green energy and green agriculture at the same time to promote green development. Well, how do you think about solar panel projects at China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region?
Super important, of course. As we know, many parts of the world are getting hotter and drier, how we deal with that. But a resource that many places have is abundant sunshine, including my home country of Australia. It's great to see of the different ways that that can be developed and enhanced to benefit everybody.
That's quite interesting you mentioned about this comparison, compared with the Inner Mongolia region with Australia, especially the sunlight.
It's not a comparison that a lot of people would think of, especially in Australia or perhaps in Inner Mongolia as well, but it's more about the similarities that many of our countries share than the differences that I think we should highlight, and that provides an opportunity for more cooperation.
Indeed. Well, today we have explored the green culture and green agriculture here in northeast China, and we have traveled from actually the Lvshunkou District in Dalian City in northeast China's Liaoning province, and also we have seen the harvest in northeast China's Jilin province. At the same time, we have explored the photovoltaic program in China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. But despite their differences, I believe they all share the same theme. Actually, after 75 years of development, the modern agriculture, the high tech, of course, the modern equipment, all help to promote the development of agriculture and help to improve people's life in rural areas.
It's fantastic to see what's been done right across the country, and really excited to see what's to come in the future.
Indeed. Well, for our next stop, we're going to head into China's Jilin province, and we're going to take a look at the car manufacturing there. That's all from me today, and back to you, Pando.
Thank you very much, my colleagues Yu Yang and Lincoln Humphreys in Dalian City. You're watching Global Watch on.
Celebrating 75 years of the People's Republic of China, CGTN brings you the story of the nation's remarkable transformation.
From automated factories to cutting-edge labs, China is reshaping the global manufacturing.
With a commitment to openness, China welcomes international investment,
Driving collaboration on a global scale.
From green hills to clear waters,
China safeguards nature for generations to come.
Across rural heartland, agricultural modernization is fueling progress and prosperity.
Throughout, China's rich cultural heritage continues to thrive.
A timeless legacy interwoven with the nation's story of modernization.
Experience 75 years of innovation, unity, and vision.
Only with CGTN.
Welcome back. Right now we're in northeast China's Liaoning province in Lvshunkou District of Dalian City, and today we're going to explore the green and circular agriculture to take a look at how they benefit local people's lives. And let me introduce my guest and also my colleague Lincoln Humphreys, and he's also the anchor of CGTN's Global Business. Welcome to the show, Link.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Been enjoying the tour of Dongbei, the northeast of China, tasting a lot of delights, learning a lot of stuff as well, from agriculture, big growing business, and now into traditional Chinese medicine, looking at the first automotive works in manufacturing. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's really, really interesting to learn all about it.
Glad to hear you say that. And also we have our guest, Mr. Wang Haijun. He's actually the person in charge of the small micro town planting the dendrobium tradition. Official now, it's actually a traditional Chinese medicine. So that is why we are here in this greenhouse. So 王老师，欢迎您加入我们的节目哈。我们节目继续，那能不能给我们介绍一下，目前我们眼前在桌子上其实还有很多刚才我们没有品尝到的一些饮料也好或者餐食也好，能给我们介绍一下吗？
是的。
Would you mind introduce us the dishes in front of us?
这个是铁皮石斛花，在东北这个季节能看到这个铁皮石斛花是很难得一见的，很不容易，因为 东北特殊的气候和天气的原因，所以说我们整个园区就采了这么点儿。欢迎两位品鉴一下。
So that's
很难得一采，难得一品。
That's actually the flower of Dendrobium officinale. It's actually blossom in July, so it's rare to see in the winter because the winter in northeast China is very cold. Thank you so much. We can have a try.
我可以吃。
So it's very 生的，我们是可以直接吃的。
是直接食用的，非常好，非常棒。
Very pretty as well.
Indeed.
Well, that's fresh.
口感清香
，quite floral. Very crunchy.
没有任何异味。
Yeah, with pleasant aroma. 它有什么样的功效呢？
它的功效呢是在开花的季节呢，就是跟其他的药理作用是同步的。主要是提高人的免疫力，还有降三高的这样一个作用。
Okay, so going to make your body stronger and actually, like have flavonoids and also have polysacharides and to improve your body's energy actually.
Delicious and nutritious.
And how about that one, the green one? 这个绿色的是什么？
这个是用铁皮石斛、北石斛的茎榨的汁儿。
That's the juice made up stem of the Dendrobium officinale.
两位可以品鉴一下，清香宜人。
Oh, it smells good.
Nice, pleasant mouthfeel. It's sort of it's viscous while not being overwhelmingly thick. It's a bit like a smoothie.
一种稠感，很稠的感觉。
Bit of a celery to cucumber juice sort of vibe I'm getting out of it.
Oh, I think it's better than cucumber juice. It tastes more mild and not very strong.
Yeah, no, it's not quite as tangy or as astringent as perhaps celery juice, but yeah, it's definitely a
really
fresh.
Nice. So after trying all the products made of Dendrobium officinale, and you might show us the real plants, I actually can't wait to see it. 所以其实我们尝了这么多产品啊，能不能带我们见一见真正的在生长的铁皮石斛？
好的，可以。
好的，谢谢您。所以这些也是咱们的一些主要产品，对吗？
对，
so
这是
major products made of Dendrobium officinale。
这边是我们的深加工产品，深加工产品呢，这是我们的植物饮。
These are kinds of deep processed products made by Dendrobium officinale. It's kind of oral solution.
Definitely a lot darker than the juice we had. I assume the flavor's even stronger.
I think that's more concentrated, maybe. 就这个看起来颜色更深，是更浓缩一些，是吗？
是的，它铁皮石斛呢是主药，还有3味辅药，也是9大仙草的其中之一。
It contains other medicine, traditional Chinese medicine.
它的是食品级别的。
Excellent. And this one with the rice as well. That looks like it might be delicious.
Green, yeah. And they say it's good for child because some children like eating rice actually.
All right. And we've got some soap here as well and keep ourselves clean, or is that something else?
I don't know. That's asking. 这个是香皂。
香皂对。
Oh, that's soap indeed.
清香宜人。味道特别好。
Oh, that's got to be good for your skin.
Oh, I love it.
而且效果也非常棒。
Now this might not be quite as healthy, but that could also be delicious.
Indeed, you find out actually. That's the wine. 这个是铁皮石斛酒，对吗？
是的，这是发酵的过程当中呢，有铁皮石斛里边，完我们又通过浸泡，这样的铁皮石斛一款铁皮石斛酒，品质非常高的。纯粮食酒。
That's a high quality wine made of Dendrobium officinale.
Delicious.
这边区域就是初级加工产品了。这个呢是铁皮石斛的切片。切片。
That small slices like made from the original Dendrobium officinale and cut into small pieces.
Delicious.
It's more convenient.
这个是我们刚才饮用的花叶茶，它俩有区别。
Oh, see, that's the slices and that's the flower tea.
So similar to the tea we were just drinking.
Yes.
Wonderful. Can attest that was pretty delicious.
Yeah, let's try this later.
这款是钙片，就是对这个中老年人特别有益处。骨质疏松，它起到这样一个作用，也算深加工产品。
That's kind of actually candy made of Dendrobium officinale. It's quite convenient, I guess.
Well, if you're struggling to get your kids to take some Dendrobium, then that might be the way to get them to have it.
And you know, in some area in China, they will give little kids some kind of Dendrobium officinale, actually.
Wonderful. Good for promoting growth.
Yes. 所以这个区域就是我们真正的这个种植园了，对不对？
是的，我们这个种植区域呢是铁皮石斛防野生，防野生种植。
So they're trying to make exactly the wild environment of the Dendrobium officinale.
I see they've got about more than 100 of these logs or stumps scattered about to grow the Dendrobium on. Where are the trees from?
Well, 他想问问您，就是说咱们这种木材就用来种植铁皮石斛呢，它来自于哪里啊？
我们这个木材呢是来自于高加索地区，它有一个特殊的要求，就是寒带地区的木材呢对这个品质呢更有一个保障和提升。
Well, he said, well, actually the wood comes from Russia, and it's because the weather there is very cold, and that kind of wood will good for the growth of Dendrobium officinale. But that's strange, because usually it was growing in in southwest China or east China.
Yeah, fantastic.
那我们有一个问题是，
Very interesting.
就是咱们不是本身是南方的作物嘛，为什么就是说反而从北边那么寒冷的地区进口过来的木材会有助于它的生长呢？
是的，这个问题太专业了。我们用了4年科研时间，就是南湖北纵，我们解决了所有科学方面，就是它的生长环境需要解决的问题。4年时间下来呢，我们解决了它的种苗培育、产业化种植、产品初级加工和深加工，同时也对它的品质有了一个决定性的一个保障。这个要求呢，它是铁皮石斛属于兰科草本亚热带多年生植物，它需要冬眠，而东北的四季温差分明，就决定了它品质的其中一个客观因素，加上我们主观的科研的一个结果。
So actually that's because, well, these kind of plants need different climates, and well, as we mentioned earlier, the root come from the Russia and they provide the cold weather, and also in Dongbei they're trying to make a more humid and large area for them to grow, and that's making the quality of Dendrobium officinale better.
Excellent. I notice also there's quite a bit of colour variation from the newer, younger leaves to the older ones, which are much darker.
Which one's the older one?
Almost getting a purple. These ones are much darker colouring, so you can see a bit of colour variation.
Gotcha.
The underside, is there a difference in the nutritional value of the leaves to stems and how old the plant is?
林肯他发现就是说，在咱们这些植株上哈，有一些颜色比较深的叶子，有一些颜色比较浅的。那颜色比较深的是更老一些吗？那它的营养价值会更高吗？
说对了，这个问题很专业。新的浅一点的呢，就是今年新生的；老的呢，就是老条老的。去年
So
生长的。
indeed, the lighter one is younger and the darker one is older. 那这个老条它的这个相当于是品质会更高，含有营养元素会更多。
是的，没错，是这样。
The older one is more nutritious.
All right, I'll see if I can find a nice purple one to eat, because I understand if the flowers are edible, surely the leaves have got to be edible as well.
Try it. 但其实我们同时也可以看到 ，take a look up here， 我觉得还是有一一些病虫害，是吗？
这是它唯一的天敌，就是这个叫蜗牛。
蜗牛
snails。这个很专业。
You're already eating it.
Not quite as delicious as the flower.
很棒，很棒。
我们可以
still a nice.
可以直接嚼下来吃。
可以 sharp, tangy flavor.
你可以尝一点。
Not at all unpleasant. Very fresh.
非常好。
Yeah. I could do it. Well, here we can see some older leaves. Those ones are much darker hue on it. I guess that's a little bit older than yours.
It tastes very sour, actually. Do you like it?
I do.
还是有一些涩的感觉，这个叶子是吗？
是。
Might make for a more expensive salad.
非常棒。
That's a nice old one. That's a good one. All right.
A little bit sticky.
It's definitely a bit more firm. It feels like it's thicker.
Let me try it. The older one. Oops. The dark one.
Not quite as fresh and crunchy. A little bit more firm with the texture.
我给你来一个。
Thank you so much.
God, if we keep going at this rate, you won't have much of a crop left. But thank you very much for sharing.
A bit sour, indeed. Cannot compare with the flowers flavor. 我觉得花好像更好吃一点。
是的，是的。
所以除了那你们日常会怎么来吃它呢？泡茶或者是什么吗？
它有很多种食用方式。但是一定是煮。一定是煮，不管干的是鲜的，一定要用水去煮。泡是它的营养不能够全部的都释放出来。
So actually, for the Dendrobium officinale, you need to boil it, and to make sure all the nutrients come up into the hot water, and when you drink the hot water, you get the nutrients.
All right.
所以它需要高温来。
是的，是的，只有煮才能把它的所有的营养价值释放出来。你要泡的话就浪费掉了。
So how about the grass underground? 所以昨天林凯还问到您一个问题，就是说，其实我们可以看到，就确实这个环境特别像Southwest China， 像西南的环境啊。那这些地上的这些植物是你们特意来种的，来保障它的环境，还是它自行生长的？
这个不是的，这个是蕨类植物，我们不是刻意而为，它是在这种环境下就是生长出了这种蕨类植物。你在我们东北自然环境下是没有这种植物的。
Oh, definitely. So this kind of firm is actually grown also in Southwest China, and currently in Dongbei. If you take a look in the wild environment, they won't have such kind of plants. So specifically here, because they're trying to mimic a environment in Southwest China, that is why this kind of farm can grow here.
And comparing to Southwest China to here in terms of the pests and the fungus that you might have to encounter, the insects in that part of the world, What are the advantages to growing here compared to there?
That's a good question. 林肯想问您，那其实我们知道，在西南是有很多虫害啊，或者是有很多菌类生长在这样潮湿的环境中的。那在我们东北来种植铁皮石斛的话，会不会遇到这样的困难？会不会遇到菌类啊，或者是其他的虫害？
在东北没有，唯一的一个病虫害呢就是蜗牛，蜗牛还是有的。还有我们一开始平床种植的时候，上面有蘑菇，现在我们通过一种很简单的一种方法。就把它去掉了。现在唯一的病虫害就是蜗牛。
Okay, so currently the only challenge for the Dendrobium officinale to grow here is snail. Have you found any snail here?
I can't see any at the moment, which means they must be doing a good job at keeping them off. But we'll keep an eye out for them.
But indeed, it's small blue ball you find yesterday, I think, is it? 所以这个是你们怎么来就是治理这种蜗牛呢？
蜗牛也很少，有一种颗粒状的一种这个对它闻到了以后，或者是吃到了以后就会死掉的。
是这种？
基本就是这种。
This kind of blue small balls to use to fight against snails, and when they smell it, they're gonna run away.
唯一的很少，很少，不像南方那么多。
谢谢。
And of course, to keep the pesticide and fungicide residue off, it's an organic operation.
Yeah, totally organic, I believe. They don't use any fertilizers and any pesticides, of course. So that's really organic here.
In terms of the irrigation, how often do you have to get the sprinklers on here? How often is it watered? I mean, how much water do you use on the crop? And does it vary, I guess, between summer, winter, spring, the different seasons?
Wow, you're quite professional. 所以他想问您，就是说，因为你们要保持这样一个潮湿的环境嘛，那么你们每天要灌溉多少次？比如说在冬天或者是夏天不同的气温的情况下，你们的灌溉次数会不同吗？你们大概会用多少水来灌溉这些植物呀？
是的，夏天呢，根据温度不同，喷水的频率也不一样。冬天的就不需要了。是基本上是这样一个情况。夏天春秋两季呢，也就是根据天气的变化，跟喷水的频率和喷水的量有不同的变化。
那比如说，平均来讲，您一天会喷多少次？然后一次喷
少不了一次。
至少要一次。
至少要一次。
那一次会持续多长时间呢？
这个根据时间有1分钟的，还有几十秒的，还有10几分钟的。根据温度的高低有这样一个差。
That's a bit complicated because according to the different temperature, and they're gonna irrigate these kind of plants for 1 minute or just some seconds, and for each day. And it's also changed according to the weather. For example, in spring and summer, it's going to be different.
Right, that is very complex, right down to minutes and seconds.
I think they got some secret in this kind of farming area.
Yeah.
So they can't tell us the true data actually.
No, that's fair enough. You can't give away all your secrets, but I know not from personal experience, but from anyone who's tried to grow orchids that they can be quite temperamental, it can be difficult, and to do it on a commercial scale like this, I'm sure would have plenty of challenges.
Let's come to my question actually. 那王老师，您其实在这个园区大概有多少个植株？然后比如它的经济价值大概是价值多少呢？
我们有不同的种植方式，有防野生树的，还有平床的，还有家庭农场的。园区整个全都种满了。年产值大概产量在2万斤左右。销售收入在2000左右吧。
Okay, so actually the plants, all the Dendrobium officinale here, and their annual output hit about 10,000 kilograms.
Wow.
And their revenue hit about 20 million Chinese yuan.
Very
so
good.
how about the AUD actually?
In AUD, I think that's about 5 million, getting close to 3 million in USD. Yeah, that's an impressive turnover for sure.
这确实是一个非常高经济价值的作物哈。
是的。
那你们主要销售去哪里呢？比如说是通过深加工产品直接销售去直营的商店，还是你们的销售渠道主要是哪些？
我们销售方向现在主要是线上线下相结合，线上。基本上就是一个引流，对产品的一个说明。线下呢，我们就是一种叫做拓客，或者是我们要把产品的功效和它的价值和功能对人体的这个各方面的一个益处，我们要和消费者、消费对象说清楚、说明白。
所以我想问的是，就是比如说你们卖的时候，主要是这样一整棵树，就或者是鲜的植物就卖出去了，还是说你们把它加工好再卖出去？
一整颗用鲜的也可以，初级加工的刚才看的干品也可以，还有深加工的，是3种不同产品的形态。
Okay, so they going to be they sold both online and offline, of course, and they sell this kind of raw materials, and they also sell this kind of deep processed products to the markets.
Fantastic. And in terms of the fresh product, price-wise, what are we looking at there for some fresh product? I'd want to buy some.
他想问您，就是说这个新鲜的怎么来购买呢？
新鲜的我们是这一棵树，多少钱？是这样的情况。我们35天供应1斤鲜的，用来榨汁，就刚才品那个榨汁那个。
You're gonna buy the whole plants actually.
Okay.
And it's cost about 13,800 RMB.
Wow. Okay.
And actually, they can also help you with the raw materials, and they will sell it to you every 35 days, and they will help you to make them into juice, like what we drank earlier.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like an expensive way to get my nutrition, so I'll eat as much as I can while I'm here, but I'm not out of the game at all. I think I'm very interested in perhaps trying to grow some myself. I think that would be fantastic.
I don't think so. It's quite difficult to build this kind of greenhouse at home.
I enjoy a challenge.
Seriously? Let me ask him. 那林肯想问您，他有没有可能在家自己来种植这样的铁皮石斛呢？
这个是不可以的，做不到，因为人的生长环境，它是生长不了的，也就是说它的生长环境人是适应不了的，是这样一个情况啊。它是高温高湿，这样的话呢，人是接受不了的，不。
So actually, the area it's planted is need high temperature and high moisture, and the human actually cannot adapt to this kind of environment.
Right. Well, definitely not in my apartment in Beijing, but perhaps in my home in Australia. That might
Seriously, and you want you adapt to the environment of Dendrobium officinale?
There's some pretty humid places in Australia. I wouldn't say it's impossible. I think it's something that interests me greatly.
I hope so. If you get success, tell me. 所以他还是很想来挑战一下自己。他说，也许在北京，因为北京也相对比较干燥，然后寒冷，可能不一定能做成，但是他很希望在澳大利亚可以实现。
澳大利亚是可以的，因为我比较了解澳大利亚的这样一个气候，虽然能干燥一些，但是还可以人为的、人工的把这个环境可以打造出来，只是人和它不能同时的。
So you can live with this actually, but you can build a greenhouse by yourself in Australia, and maybe you can grow. But actually, Australia has very severe entry policies. Like you can't bring these kind of seeds into the country, I guess.
Potentially not. I know orchid farming and, well, just for ornamental purposes, orchids are quite popular in Australia, but perhaps not at a commercial scale. I'm not aware of it. Not to say it isn't happening, but we've got a very diverse climate in Australia, so we can grow almost anything. I'm sure if we looked hard enough, we could find someone growing something similar. Maybe not necessarily Dendrobium officinale, but I know for a fact that people are growing all kinds of orchids in Australia, which are not native. But you know, there's always the potential to try something different and try something new.
I think that's why Australia forbidden any new seeds come into the area, because it's suitable for planting everything there. You know, that's the reason why. 所以，那王老师，我们刚刚讲到您的这个灌溉系统啊，我们其实是非常好奇的，因为其实能够在东北这样寒冷干燥的环境中模拟出这样一个湿润的，非常像南方的这么一个环境，您的灌溉系统到底是什么样 ？So we are quite curious about your irrigation system, because see, you actually make a very environment really like the southwest China. So how do you do that? Show us about your irrigation system, would you mind?
灌溉是这样式的，根据种植方式不一样，它灌溉的这个喷口的大小也不一样，高矮都是用数据去支撑的。所以说在幼苗的时候呢，因为灌溉的水流太大呢，会伤到它的一个成活率和它的成长。所以说我们设定了不同的灌溉方式，包括高矮呀、左右上下，都是有一个数据在支撑它。
They have quite accurate data about how high the irrigation system is and how much the water they will supply. So it's very accurate. So would you mind show us?
我们可以演示一下，演示一下。
I'll get out of the way.
没事啊。
Now we definitely don't need to be watered anymore. The tea's been sufficient for us, but I think the plants must need a little bit of a drink.
See?
Just like a rainforest shower has dropped over us.
Definitely, very like a rainforest actually. 我们感觉您这就像热带雨林一样。
是的，这种呢就是这个是假山，它是防野生环境这样的，野生在大自然的环境里边呢，就是这种生长的方式。但是这个假山呢是要做青苔的，是要做青苔的。
In fact, it's quite pleasant, yes.
See? So feeling the rainforest here in northeast China, and anything is impossible.
No, it's nice. Very, very nice. I can see why the plants are growing so well. This is a very, very amenable climate.
Yes, and water is actually very important for every kind of plant. Well, today we have school here, the planting area of Dendrobium officinale, and they can take a look at how the subtropical plants arrived here in North China, and it's actually transformed from south to north and making a really breakthrough. And like, how do you feel about this breakthrough?
I think it's impressive. It's obviously taken a lot of work and a lot of time. I mean, going right down to the minutiae of the distance of the ceiling from the plants and also the size of the windows. I mean, a lot of work's gone into this. Very fine detail, and it's great to see them reap some rewards from it.
Indeed, every part of the greenhouse has been designed specifically and for the environment of Dendrobium officinale. And besides that, we also see the harvest in northeast China's ceiling province in Lvshunkou County, and they have welcomed another harvest. And also we have taken a look at the photovoltaic system here in northeast China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. As I mentioned in the TV story, actually they all share the same theme actually after 70 years of development. While the modern agriculture and of course the advanced equipment, they all help the development of agriculture and also improving people's life in rural areas.
Fantastic to see. I mean, there's so much excellent work that's been done. I'm really fascinated to see what comes next. It's a very bright future indeed.
Definitely, our journey continues, and for our next stop, we're going to northeast China's Jilin province in Changchun City to explore the car manufacturing there. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I'm going to get an umbrella.